happy winter solstice to you all. My name is Carrie, and I'm chiming in from Sedona, Arizona. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. And I just wanted to chime in for a little sacred space sharing with all of you in alignment with the winter solstice. And so I want to start actually by just giving us a moment to drop in wherever you're at. Just take a moment here with me to settle into yourself. I actually have a little bit of sage here. Hi, Nina. I saw your little pop up there. I'm going to try my best to pay attention to comments that pop up. But wherever you're at, just taking a moment here to settle in. Hey, Jackie. All my lovelies. So if you are connected to me and you watch the videos on my channel, you know that I'm really into living in alignment with the cycles of nature, cycles and seasons, shamanic cycles of power. And here we are, arriving at a big power day today. And the reason for that is that today is the winter solstice, which marks the shortest day of the year, meaning that the sun sets super early. And beginning with tomorrow, we actually have incrementally increasing sunlight, which is why, shamanically speaking, traditionally, this is an ancient holiday actually that celebrates the return to light, which is why I have my fireplace going right now. I'm at my home celebrating the return to light. And, you know, there's many symbolisms connected to this. Literally, it's the return to increasing daylight as we're getting closer and closer to spring, starting from this point forward. But it's also the return to light in the way of this is the time of year where we begin to turn our thoughts towards any new intentions that we might want to set for ourselves in the new year. It's a time where we celebrate a cycle of renewal because we are coming into this new cycle of experience. It's the end of the dark half of the year and the beginning of the light half of the year. And because of that, the themes that are connected to this day, this ancient holiday, are connected to themes relating to metaphoric death and rebirth and renewal. So it can be a time of shedding, a time of releasing the old, which I'm going to talk a little bit more about in a little bit. Actually, at the end of this live, I'm going to share with all of you some specific practices that you can do today and over the course of the next few days as we're coming into the new moon. So in fact, now I'm going to talk just a little bit about like the broad stroke astrology that's going on right now that's significant to where we're at today. So the planet Jupiter just went into the sign of Aries yesterday. And this is pretty significant in the way that Jupiter takes approximately 12 years to move through all of the zodiac signs. And so the first thing that I want to talk about here is that this is the first time that Jupiter has been in Aries since about 2010, 2011. So one thing that we can all do is pause and reflect, what was going on in my life at that time? You may indeed discover that it was a time of endings and beginnings. And this is because, especially with Aries, Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. And so this is the beginning of a whole 12-year cycle that we're all collectively in right now. And so we can look back to that last time and look for what were some really amazing opportunities that happened for me in 2010, 2011? What are some things that maybe I felt complete with that I transitioned out of? And what did I step into? And we can expect some type of repeat of that energetic theme. Of course, it's not going to be the exact same circumstances and things like that. But Jupiter is the planet that brings good fortune, expansion, growth, opportunity. And being that we have like all of these things coinciding this year at once, we have Jupiter moving into Aries, bringing us into a 12-year cycle of growth. This is such an amazing time to set new intentions for yourself, actually, for the next decade. We have the winter solstice today, which is also the beginning of Capricorn season. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the sacred wisdom teachings connected to Capricorn season and how we can leverage those to support our growth and evolution. And we have the new moon happening on the 23rd in Capricorn. So for today, for tonight, this is a really powerful night to, in some way, shape, or form, ceremonially bring things to completion. Anything that you want to release, let go of. This can even be in the realm of thoughts, beliefs, emotions that aren't serving you, any type of entanglement with situations that you're ready to be bringing into completion. And a really powerful way that we can do that is through writing down the things that you would like to release. And then when you're finished, like I would recommend, you can either take a piece of paper and write everything down on one page, or you can have many small pieces of paper with one thing written in each page, or on each paper. If you have a fireplace, burn it in your fireplace. This is what I'm going to do later on. If you don't have a fireplace, you might have a safe way that you could burn your papers or page. Kitchen sink is a good idea with like a wet towel around you, maybe the exhaust fan going. Or you can step outside and burn it in a safe space that, of course, is being mindful of fire safety, right? And, you actually, sometimes what I've done in the past outside is I'll just go on my back patio and I'll use an old pot for cooking that I'm not using for cooking anymore. And I'll put the thing that I'm burning in there and light it on fire in there so it stays more contained. Any type of fireproof bowl will do. But you're doing it intentfully, ceremonially. I definitely recommend having some source of firelight around you tonight, even if it's a candle. I have a small little candle lit here that I used to light the sage at the beginning of this live stream here. We're embracing, again, the return to light, and we're acknowledging the healing properties of fire, which are connected to transformation, transmutation, expansion, and illumination. What does firelight do? It chases away darkness. It brings warmth. The flames themselves are expansive. The colors are colors that are connected to the lower chakras, reds, orange, yellows. So it's a time of reigniting our inner fires from the depths from within us, meaning the inner fires of our deeper passions and enthusiasms. Over the course of the next few days, be feeling into it, thinking into it, as we're coming into the new moon. What intentions do I want to set for myself? Not only for this lunar month for the new moon, but we can do for the whole year. And with Jupiter in Aries, we can look far ahead. What's my goal for the next decade? Now, we're just coming out of a time that, Jupiter's been in Pisces pretty much all year, at least for the last part of the year. I don't remember the exact dates, But there's been a huge Pisces theme happening this whole year with both Neptune and Jupiter coming in and out of Pisces. Pisces, Jupiter in Pisces has supported us all this whole year in deepening our connection to our spiritual self, our soul, deepening our connection to our realizations around what our deeper soul-centered goals and dreams are. So the opportunity for growth, expansion, creative expression, and manifestation that we have coming in to this new year with all of these things lining up right now, new moon, Capricorn season, Jupiter, winter solstice, where we really have the opportunity to grow is specifically in relation to setting intentions around whatever dreams have come into your awareness this past year that Jupiter and Neptune and Pisces has helped us to become aware of. Right now, with this return to light that we're having, illuminating our awareness around those things and setting clear intentions. So what I recommend for all of us tonight, I thought about guiding us all through it within this live, but because it's such a personal thing, I feel like you'll actually have more of an energy focus if I just share with you how to do it and then you do it afterwards. So tonight, writing down everything you want to release, find a way to purge it, burn it, transmute it, returning it to the cosmos, right? Where it can be recycled into reusable energy. And then as we're coming into the new moon, I recommend another fire-oriented ceremony because, we're still in that celebration of the return to light. And so this is what I'm going to do, and this is what I typically do during this time of year, which, by the way, and some of you know this about me, I've been living like this in alignment with the cycles and seasons of nature really since I was a kid. My mother was very into these types of teachings and taught my sisters and I to live this way. Since I was little, my mom's the one that started teaching me astrology when I was like 9 or 10 years old. Anyway, take a candle on the new moon, which is on the 23rd. And I'm going to talk about the Capricorn energy in a moment because the new moon's in Capricorn, where the sun is in Capricorn right now, so there's a conjunction there. Take a candle. You could use a white candle for like purity, purification. For me personally, I'm going to use a red candle. Now there's different kinds of candles that you can use. You can get, I don't have a red one with me, but you can get these little teeny candles. They're called chime candles, and they're actually meant for personal ceremonies. You can get them at any type of metaphysical gift shop. Sometimes like Whole Foods and things like that will have them as well. But if you can't find a little mini one, just any type of taper candle or votive candle will do. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a toothpick. You can also use a thumbtack or an opened up paper clip. And this is the candle that I'm actually going to use. I'm going to use a red one, and I'm using a big one because I want to burn it down, set those intentions out there, right? So what you do on the new moon, anything that's connected to what you want to activate, empower, energize, activate, I think I said that already, you're going to take your little implement here, sharp instrument, and you're scribing or etching things that are connected to your intentions into the candle. You can be simple with it, you can be elaborate, you can write words, I like to just use symbols that represent my intentions because I feel like there's a lot behind the energy of symbolism that transcends verbal language. So do it until you feel complete. Spend as much time as you need to writing or scribing into your candle everything that's connected to your intentions. And then Actually, before you do that, what I like to do is just hold the candle in your hands, let your own personal energy flow into the candle from your heart through your arms into the hands, really connecting with it, really infusing your personal energy with the candle. Then scribe your symbols, or it's okay if you do it the other way around. And then when you're ready, you're going to light the candle and you're going to allow it to burn down. And as it's burning down, it's taking the energy that you've infused into the candle and putting it out there into the universe like a supercharged intention or a supercharged prayer. Now, the good thing about using the small candles is that they burn down in about 15 or 20 minutes. And so, you can do it in a one-time setting. If you have a larger candle and it's going to take a long time, then of course, when you're not around the candle, if you leave your house, blow it out for fire safety reasons, but you can relight it until it burns all the way down. Now, another empowerment practice that I want to share with you that's really good to do during the fire-oriented ceremonies is this practice called trakata, and it comes from yoga. And this is a way of using fire to clear away any energetic cobwebs, so to speak, from your third eye chakra, but also to illuminate and activate your third eye chakra. So what you do is, I'll just light this small little chime candle I have to demonstrate. When you're practicing trakata, you want your candle to be at eye level. So you can comfortably, softly gaze at the candle. I typically think of letting my direct vision be going past the candle, but I'm keeping it soft in my peripheral vision. And I'm softly gazing in the very center, brightest part of the candle for as long as I can without blinking. And then when you need to blink, close your eyes. And keep your eyes closed, but keep that vision of the candle flame in your mind's eye, and you're holding your attention on that. And then repeat that, I would say at least 3 to 5 times, as, again, a purification practice, an activation practice for your third eye chakra. So those are 3 things that you can do that are very connected to the energy of now and consciously transitioning into the energy of the season, this time of year. So now let me talk a little bit about the overall shamanic wisdom teachings and empowerment practices that are connected to winter. Even though we're coming into more light starting from tomorrow into really the summer solstice, wintertime, we still have darker days than we do in the spring and summer, so it's still more of an inward time, a time of going within. And so wintertime is the natural time of year that's most optimum for any type of healing work. Fall through winter is the best time of year to do shadow work type of healing. It's a time of nourishing and nurturing ourselves. I'm like a huge fan of eating seasonally. So winter is all about hearty root vegetable stews, foods that are warm, hearty, and nourishing. It's a time where we want to leave more spaciousness in our lives for cozying in. It literally is like a hibernation period, right? So the one thing that I want to share with all of you, and maybe some of you are aware of this, but it's good to have the reminder, is we are not separate from nature, right? Every living being on the earth is influenced by the natural ebbs and flows and the cycles and seasons of nature, just like certain animals hibernate in the wintertime. If you feel it, pay attention to how you've been feeling for the past few days, because this past few days, this past week, has been that darkest time of year. And chances are, if you pay attention, you'll notice where you've felt a little bit more inward, a little bit more, maybe my body feels a little sluggish, I'm moving slower, I'm definitely not running any marathons right now, right? And it's important to not resist that energy, but to embrace it and go with the flow with it and trust that when we live in alignment with these natural energies that come and go throughout the cycles and season, ultimately all of our efforts in life are going to produce the most efficient and beneficial results. Right? And so the reason I'm saying we're not separate from nature is because with all of our modern living and technologies and all of that, we can forget and lose that connection. Actually, that's a big part of why I live here in Sedona where I do, because it's a beautiful natural realm. It's a secluded place. I do live in a very natural environment, and for me personally, I really need that for my well-being. And so, yeah, wintertime is going within, nesting, renewing, healing, rejuvenating, but it's not necessarily an inactive time. Activities that are connected to learning, studying, preparing for the year ahead is a good use of our energy. In fact, we talked about how Jupiter just went into Aries. Mars is the ruler of Aries, and Mars is in retrograde right now in the sign of Gemini until January 12th. So even though with this Jupiter in Aries, we are going to start feeling a little bit more motivated and a little bit more enthused, with Mars retrograde right now, the best use of that energy is also what I just said. Taking some time to, do the foundational behind the scenes type of efforting or focus that might be connected to your bigger picture goals for the coming year. So getting your plans down, writing down inspirations, ideas, reading books, watching videos, whatever. That's the best use of the energy. And then once Mars goes direct on January 12th, then we're going to start feeling like, okay, it's the new year, time to get the ball rolling. And so more than likely, I would say give yourself between now and mid-January, as much as you can, that little bit of window of personal hibernation and cozying in. And then by the time we get to mid-January, we're naturally going to start feeling like getting out and about a little bit more, getting some energy flowing. It feels really good. So let me talk about Capricorn. Capricorn season. So today is the first day of Capricorn season. I am a Capricorn, so I know the energy well. My birthday's coming up in about 2 weeks. And then the new moon is going to be in Capricorn as well. So each zodiac season, right? We shift from one season to another every month when the sun goes into a new sign. And each zodiac season has wisdom teachings connected to it that we can use as a framework for our own personal growth. So for example, we're just transitioning out of Sagittarius, and I talked about this in the previous few videos that I did. Sagittarius is all about, changing things up, getting outside of your usual habit and routine, interacting with people, engaging, making connections. Now that we're coming into Capricorn season, it's a little bit more contained energy. Capricorn season is, the wisdom teachings of Capricorn season are connected to renewing our dedication to our sense of personal responsibility to our growth in whatever way that is, whether it's personal growth or other forms of growth. It's renewing a sense of enthusiasm in our lives. Capricorn season, we experience satisfaction through accomplishment. So this is also a really good month to set goals for yourself that you can achieve within Capricorn season, because it's going to make you feel really good to get those things done, right? So it's still inward, so it could be things around your home. I talked earlier about that this is a really good time, especially before the new moon. We still have a few days to, do some deep purging, clearing in your home, freshen the energy so that you have a nice sacred space set for launching into the new. Now, also, and this might be one of the last things that I talk about here, each lunar cycle has wisdom teachings connected to it as well, not only with the zodiac, but for example, one of the books that I use a lot, I actually brought it out for those of you who might be interested, that talks specifically about the sacred feminine wisdom teachings connected to each lunar cycle of the month in alignment with Native American indigenous cultures. It's called The 13 Original Clan Mothers, and it's by Jamie Sams. She's the person who created the animal medicine cards. So this book talks about, like, in detail, all of the wisdom teachings about every lunar cycle. And the last lunar cycle of the year, which we're in right now, is called Wax Tall Woman, in accordance to this tradition. And it's all about gratitude. So maybe contemplate that. If I was a walking tall woman, what would that mean to me? If I was embodying gratitude, what would that mean to me? To me, when I focus on that, the Wax Tall Woman is me holding my chin up in recognition that no matter what I've experienced this year, if there's been trials, tribulations, challenges, whatever, I can live in gratitude for all of those things, knowing that they are a part of what has supported me and rising more into my best version of myself, my my best version of myself, my authentic nature. So it's a lot about being in gratitude for all that we've experienced this year and bringing that energy of gratitude into the new year, which of course is just like a week or so away. Gratitude is a magnet for manifestation, right? And I've talked about this in videos before, where manifestation isn't so much a practice as much as it is a state of being. When we're in high, true, authentic, high vibration, flow state, mind, body, spirit, harmony, well-being, we are a magnet to experiencing, creating, and manifesting whatever our, bigger goals and dreams are, because we're embodying that energy of harmony and flow. And so practicing that. Another book by Jamie Sams that I love, and this talks more about the wisdom teachings of the medicine wheel in Native American tradition. I think she's part Seneca, so specifically that tradition. So let me pause here and say that in shamanism, I'm very into shamanic wisdom teachings, healing, energy medicine. Shamanism is global. And there's a term called core shamanism, which is a term that's used to describe the commonalities of wisdom teachings that are in some way a part of every shamanic culture in the world. Every culture in the world has shamanic roots. So what I'm getting at here is you don't necessarily have to feel like, oh, well, I can't adhere to indigenous wisdom teachings that are from this culture because I'm not from that culture. And that's not necessarily true. Core shamanism embodies, again, the commonalities of all, and honestly, of all of the different facets and faces of shamanism that I've explored in my life. It's basically all the same teachings everywhere, just different ways of saying it, different myths, different terminology, but the core practices are the same. Personally, in my life, my lineage is more European, and so I practice more European shamanism, which is also where, Wicca, Druidism, paganism is all considered like European shamanism. But I incorporate elements of other practices as well. And I do really love the wisdom teachings of the Native American medicine wheel, which this book talks about from a sacred feminine perspective. So for all of you who are watching who are women or you identify with feminine energy, I definitely recommend this book as well. So yeah, now in my previous few videos, I've talked about how I'm going to be keeping this theme going on my channel throughout the year. So every time we have a solstice, an equinox, new moon, full moon, change of zodiac season, something significant, I'm going to be chiming in and sharing the wisdom teachings of those things so that we can use them as a format for our growth. And the reason that I want to do this is because of the fact that this is what I've been using as formats for my personal growth my whole life, and I do find them to be extremely supportive and beneficial. It's like we're always riding the spiral, right? So everything in life is cycles happen in circular motions, but it's never exactly the same, which is what I love, right? The energy changes. So for example, right now we have winter solstice, new moon, Jupiter just goes into Aries. Next year, Jupiter will be in another sign by then, so it's not going to be the exact same energy. So there's always something new to discover. And in this circle of life that we live in with these natural cycles and seasons, I look at it more like a spiral. And we're either spiraling up on the thermals of more consciousness awareness, or we're spiraling down into the depths of healing, transformation, whatever. Look at it that way for yourself. So even though we use the same structures throughout the year, every year the energy is a little bit different and gives a little bit of a different opportunity. So I would love for you guys to chime in after the fact, after you do this ceremony of clearing and then your new moon ceremony of what you're intending, and let me know how it went for all of you. You can revisit this video. It's going to be, the replay will be on my website, and just chime in and let me know how that went. I'm just checking out your comment, Nina. Everything was so new. Yeah, 2010, 2011 is when I was invited by World Dance New York to do my belly dance instructional video. Some of you know that I am a long time, used to be a professional belly dance instructor. I haven't been performing anymore since COVID, basically. But 2010, 2011 is when I made my last instructional DVD, and it ended up being a multi-award winning DVD. And so that was pretty cool. And so I'm really looking forward to some type of repeat of that type of energy. Honestly, I'll give you guys a little heads up. My intent this year is to finish my psychic development book. That is my intent. Boom. Hey, Maya Donna. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And so yeah, let's all hold space for each other, right? We've all been through it for the past few years with all of the, what I call the C word thing, right? But it's time. It's time to burst into the new year with clarity, awareness, enthusiasm, in alignment with our passions. And yeah, I love you all. Blessed be. I'm going to go ahead and chime out for now because I see my fire went out. I'm going to restoke it before my husband gets home so he can see it too. And I'm still going to do my ceremony as well. So yeah, nervousness is what right? Whatever's coming up that feels a little bit turbulent could be a thing that it can be cleansed. So again, all that we're releasing can be old thoughts, feelings, beliefs, ideas that aren't serving us. They can be sort of abstract, nebulous things that we're releasing. You don't even have to know what you're releasing. Really, you can be like, just write down anything that I'm not aware of that's holding me back, holding me down, not aligned with the direction I'm going, I'm claiming that I'm releasing it, mind, body, spirit, with blessings. So, okay, guys, I love you all. I'll see you in the next video, and I'm going to keep these lives going, and I'm also going to be doing additional content in the coming years, so stay tuned. And again, love you all. Happy solstice, happy new moon, happy Capricorn season, happy Jupiter in Aries, and I'll see you guys next week here, okay? On my love.